Hello, dear friends. It was said things were going to get ugly, and they are already heating up ahead of November 5th. This time, the storm is not only social, political, and economic, but also physical. Opinion piece. Behold a pale horse. Universal reset. Things are heating up. Healing collective trauma. Gold bullion is running out. Moment of intense purification. October 22nd, doomsday of dollar. Hurricane Milton evacuates Florida. Mind-blowing anomalies on weather radar. Thousands of motorists stranded on the highway. Let's start. Behold a pale horse is a phrase taken from the Apocalypse, a 1964 film directed by Fred Zinnemann and 1991 book by William Cooper. The Apocalypse paragraph reads, I looked up and saw a pale green horse. Its rider was called the Grim Reaper, and its companion was the Underworld. Comet Atlas appears in the sky as unprecedented flooding hits New Zealand's southern island, and damage to North Carolina's rail lines will take years to repair, while another Gulf hurricane makes landfall in Florida. Spain is also the country most affected in Europe by Hurricane Kirk. According to Casherash, a universal reset is taking place right now. It's not just the Earth that is going through the change. The cosmic reset button has been pressed, and the light of Source Creator is flooding into every star system and galaxy. All of creation is being elevated into a higher reality. Wax. Behold a Pale Horse is a book written by Milton William Cooper, published in 1991. Cooper claims that there is a secret government that controls world events and hides crucial information from the public. Cooper warns of a plan to establish one world government and drastic social changes. Tragically, Cooper was killed in 2001 in a shootout with authorities in Arizona. The mystery surrounding Cooper's death has led many to believe that it wasn't accidental, but rather a plot to eliminate a dissident. Death on the Pale Horse is the title of a work by Benjamin West, rich in apocalyptic symbolism, which combines biblical imaginary with artistic tendencies to create a powerful visual representation of final judgment and the possibility of redemption. Symbolism. The pale horse is a symbol that invites reflection on our own existence and the unavoidable transitions we all face. It reminds us that change and transformation are part of life. In many stories, such a horse can represent a journey into the unknown or a warning about the dangers that lie ahead. The pale horse is often associated with the fate we all face. Its pale color can symbolize sadness and desolation. In a broader sense, the pale horse can represent drastic changes in life, such as transitions or endings. Another interpretation is a harbinger of moral decay and spiritual misery. From this perspective, the pale horse serves as a symbol of the malaise that permeates human existence, highlighting the consequences of moving away from divine truth and justice. Purification. According to Natalia Alba, we are in transition to a new era, marked by the gradual passage of Pluto into Aquarius. a new timeline in which physical emancipation will be key during the next 4 years, because we are ready to embody the crystalline frequencies that will begin our physical transition to a new dimensional space. According to Archangel Michael through Sheila Wilder, humankind is being shaken and awakened. Each individual experiences intense changes within. Those who were chosen to be present and aware during these times were considered among the strongest and the most evolved. This means that they are able to withstand the energies emerging from ascension process and at these great times and endure the intense personal cleansing required to harmonize with the frequencies. According to Judith Castle, this is a time of great change and intense purification. What is coming is Atlantis, after the fall of the Golden Age, when the rulers began to manipulate the weather, which led to great floods. It was then that the high priesthood and those who remained faithful to the law of one began to create communities of light underground or in high mountains ranges. The east coast of America is home to many Atlantean souls who incarnated to put the coasts of Atlantis to rest and heal the collective trauma. The only way is the open heart and the joining of islands of light to create a new golden age, while the old increasingly collapses and disintegrates. News: Hurricane Milton is moving toward Florida as a Category 5 storm. Mind-boggling anomalies are being detected on weather radar. More than 1,500 gas stations in Florida have run out of fuel. Hurricane Milton is shaping up to be one of the most violent in 100 years. Florida prepares for the arrival of Milton, still not recovering from the passage of Helene. Hurricane Milton is expected to double in size before hitting Florida. This hurricane is now a storm with winds of 2,090 kilometers per hour. Most homes can only withstand winds of up to 225 kilometers per hour, according to Mike Adams. When Milton makes landfall, its winds will extend about 370 kilometers from its center. Time is running out to evacuate as Hurricane Milton advances toward Florida. Biden urges evacuation of threatened citizens. It's a matter of life or death, he says. Hospitals are preparing a week's supply of food and water, as well as child and pet care. According to Paul Craig Roberts, Hurricane Milton is so unusual that it doesn't seem natural. Health Ranger via Telegram. There is no fuel along the I-75 evacuation corridor northbound from Tampa. There are miles of idling vehicles running out of gas, and thousands of motorists are stranded on the interstate. North Carolina. White and red hats unite to defend people in North Carolina, according to Mr. Ed. According to Colonel Douglas McGregor, it is no coincidence that the areas hardest hit by Hurricane Helene and now Hurricane Milton are Trump states. A Black Hawk helicopter wreaks havoc at the civilian donation center after the hurricane, raising questions, according to Morgan. According to Cletus, this was done on purpose with a rota to disperse supplies for citizens helping the victims. Special Operation veterans will transport aid to the mountains of North Carolina, according to Steve Biko. Opinions. October 22nd Doomsday, a Baltimore-based economic research group predicts the dollar's doomsday on October 22, 2024, with China and Russia leading the destruction. There is a weather war, takedowns and panics, says Juan Osabin. He adds that the coalition has captured all communications around false flag operations and that Colonel Douglas MacGregor talks about weather warfare. A talking cat warns his mother about an earthquake before it happens. A cybersecurity incident affects the largest wastewater company in the US. X22 report. The stage is set to move into phase 2, second phase, and is on the right track. Elon Musk's interview with Trump shows a fractured country, according to Alfredo Jalife Rami. Fox News launches Spanish language program and website ahead of presidential election. The war in Gaza has brought a humanitarian, diplomatic, and moral crisis, says the UN Secretary General. Bloomberg believes that Zelensky could take a more flexible approach when negotiating with Russia. Economy. Oil price breaks bullish streak and drops 2%. Attacks on Iran could raise oil prices above $100 a barrel. Costco gold bars are running out despite price hike. The number of workers with multiple jobs hits a record high, and Costco gold bars are selling like hotcakes. Oil companies are moving away from the green agenda because they realize they would go bankrupt. Trump media shares soar. Solana cryptocurrency could rally 400% if Trump wins election, Standard Chartered says. Pavel Durov announces news on Telegram. TikTok sued in US for harming children's well-being. China number 1 in global economic growth since 1979. The Chinese yuan gains more than 20% in cross-border trade in 8 months. The Russian gold reserve approaches $200 billion. Russia could soon become the world leader in currency mining. Europe. Von der Leyen's new budget is a major power grab from Brussels. Paris prepares for war. Thousands of French soldiers to arrive in Romania to simulate combat with Russia. Left and right prey on wake French government as it prepares austerity budget. Britain gives up the island Chagos to Mauritius and retains Diego Garcia Air Base. September 2024 was the warmest since 1991 globally, and the second in Europe according to Copernicus. Hungary blocks until the US elections the steps necessary to help Ukraine with frozen Russian assets. Spain. Spain among the countries most affected by Hurricane Kirk in Europe. All of Spain, except the Canary Islands, is on alert for Hurricane Kirk due to wind, rain, and waves. Spain is the country with the highest unemployment rate in the Eurozone, according to the latest data from Eurostat. 77% of Spaniards do not have more children due to lack of financial means, according to CIS. 41% of adolescents have had or believe they have had a mental health problem in the last year, according to a study. Americas. Sheinbaum presents a security plan to reduce violence in Mexico. Mexico seeks to replace imports of Chinese components with local manufacturing. UAM scientists suggest that the most exotic and complex quantum phenomena occur when the mission is weaker. The city of Albuquerque in the state of New Mexico is currently celebrating the Balloon Fiesta, one of the largest hot air balloon festivals in the world. Petro calls for a general mobilization after denouncing the beginning of a coup d'etat. Cristina Kirchner makes her candidacy to lead Peronism in Argentina official. The National Assembly of Venezuela asks the government to break relations with Spain. The Venezuelan parliament proposes to promote an initiative to abolish the Spanish monarchy. Brazil lifts ban on X after Elon Musk complies with court orders. Haiti condemns the Dominican Republic's plan to deport 10,000 migrants weekly. The UN has called on countries in the area to stop the deportation of Haitians who return to their country in a dangerous situation. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.